just a quick caveat. Yes, I am representing Coveo today, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a talk that was along the lines of what I would have given as a consultant. I was in consulting for 17 years, and give you a little bit of insight into a conversation I had with a lot of our customers about how to select their next search engine. The question people have a lot at first is, how do I get started? What's out there? I'm not going to just pick one option. I'm going to do my homework and my research. And I think about this like buying a new car. I don't buy a new car every year, and it's the kind of thing that when I look at cars these days, they're very different than the last time I bought a car. It was CD changers, and they were advertising power seats and moonroofs and things that were very different. Today it's iPhone integration, and it's tire pressure sensors, and they all have Bluetooth, and they have automatic climate control in the front and the back, and it's the same in enterprise search. I was in a little bit of a vacuum, I'll admit, with the GSA. Both Michael and I were tasked with doing the impossible with the GSA. We were asked to do something, and the GSA was a hammer and a wrench, and we could make it do a lot of very cool things. But I think as I take a step back, there were a lot of things about it that had not changed very much over the last 5 or even 10 years. There were a lot of things in the core index that were very, very much just the way they had always been. There were limitations. We would always ask about features like audio and video processing and optical character recognition, and a lot of times the answer we got was there's just not enough extra horsepower left on the GSA to do that. We were kind of constrained by being an appliance. So Michael, if you go to the next slide, I've got a list of not exhaustive list, but a starter list of what I consider some modern expectations in 2016, 2017 for enterprise search. These are things that I think are becoming almost common and should be things that you think about for your next application. I think, am I correct? Yeah, almost everything in here was not on the GSA. There were maybe a few, but in general, these had never made it to the Google platform. The advanced processing is getting easier with more horsepower, so we're able to see more advanced thumbnails and preview, and documents being translated into multiple languages, and transcriptions being available. And even if the core search engine doesn't offer this, which not many do, built in, they should give you some extensible, points where you can, if you want to send out your file to be transcribed, you can do that in a workflow and customize the indexing process. I'm a little torn on user interface builders, for example, but they are becoming more common. I think there's some acknowledgement that when you unwrap your search engine on Christmas morning, you should be able to get a user interface up and running fairly easily. I don't ever like to see someone tied into an ecosystem, so I'll discuss a little bit of Coveo's strategy on that, how we maybe kind of straddle the divide between build your own and a proprietary interface builder. Analytics, another big one. GSA, Google's known for Google Analytics, and I was always shocked at how little the GSA did to help you see what was going on in your search engine. It had all the raw data, but it had almost nothing available to help you compare and contrast and zoom out and look at a broad swath of data and make sense of it. And then things like machine learning take that analytics data and automatically improve your search results. I'll give you some examples of that very shortly. But I kind of started off this conversation by saying, how should I select my search engine? Well, I've given you, an ever-growing list of not advanced, but just modern features. So, Michael, if you go to the next slide, we come to a problem. It's yeah, the everything bagel is great for breakfast, but it's bad for search. I think that if I've seen a lot of RFPs in my days, and a lot of times they're asking for everything. They think they want everything on that list, and I think it's admirable, but potentially unrealistic. I think that my recommendation is typically to think of the market. So to think back a few slides to when Michael was describing the market and the options. There's arguably 6 or 10 or 12 viable enterprise search options out there. I would contend that each one is good at a couple of those features. I think that some of them are better at site search. Some of them are better at document ingestion and have better connectors. Some of them are better with machine learning. Some of them are better with analytics. Some of them are better with unstructured data. And I think that you can fairly quickly take a list of, say 10 or 12 market leading enterprise search engines and narrow it down to just a couple that focus on the things that are important to you.